Today on Dr. Oz, how to eat for your personality type. Whether you're a passionate, emotional, or habitual eater, find your unique style and let the weight loss begin. Plus, doctors gave her 3 months to live. 2 years later, TV legend Valerie Harper is still going strong.
We have more power over it than we realize.
The mind-body connection to healing. Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
Today, get comfortable because we're talking about what to eat for your personality type. Now, we're not one size fits all in life, are we? So why should we all eat the same diet? It ought to be varied. Today, I'm helping you determine your unique eating personality type and the best diet plan to match it. You're gonna love this. Behavior specialist Dr. Mike Dow is here. He says with just 3 questions, you can determine your eating personality type. Welcome to the show as always. So describe this eating personality type.
Yeah, so we all have different brains. We all have different personality types. Some of us are introverts, some are extroverts. And we know that that affects the way you are in the world, but it also affects your relationship to food. It affects what you eat, what you crave. Are you a live to eat person? Are you an eat to live person? And if you figure out your eating personality, it can help to make you the best choices in your diet and in what you eat every single day.
All right, so we have 3 questions I want you to answer. Everyone get your little pads out. Everyone at home, this is very easy to do. Follow along with us. You can go to DrOz.com and do it as well. We can help determine your eating personality type. So it's very simple. First question, are you ready? What's your main motivation for eating? Is it that you love the taste, or that it makes you feel good, or C, that you're hungry? Pick any one of those categories. However, pick one now. Second question. In which of the following situations are you most likely to eat? Is it something delicious because it's put in front of you? Is it because you're sad or stressed? Or is it maybe because you've been a couple hours since your last meal? And the third and last question, what best describes your approach to pizza? Now pay attention here. You try all the new toppings because you're still looking for the perfect slice. Is it B, that you like it cheap, easy, and delivered? A lot of hands going up for that. And C, I see you guys. And C, you opt for your own favorite slice from your favorite place. I got your answers down. Everyone at home, again, go to Oz.com. It's right there. We'll fill it out for you and give you a quick answer. So, who answered mostly A's? Let me see a show of hands. Mostly A's. Man, come on down if you don't mind. You got someone in the front here. There were a fair amount of A's. I was surprised. What's your name?
I'm Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Come on
Hi.
down. So, you picked, and this is just for you, Ashley, but all the folks who picked mostly A's out there, Dr. Dow, tell us what their personality type is.
Ashley, you are the passionate eater. So I'm going to make a prediction about you. It's sort of like, you're getting a psychic reading here. I'm going to guess that you love new foods. You love the taste of foods. You're an extrovert. When you go out, you're probably the life of the party. When you sit down and order, you probably ask, what's the best thing you have here? Because you want to try new and exciting things. Am I close?
You're directly on.
Okay, good. So this is interesting because now that we know you are a passionate eater, there are also things that she can do, because passionate eaters, you get into trouble when something delicious is put in front of you. You have trouble saying no, right?
Cookies, chocolate, cupcakes.
Yeah,
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Come over here then. So now that you know your personality type, we've got a food plan for the passionate eater. And again, we're all different people, so we should expect to have different food plans depending on what we like to eat too much of.
Well, it looks delicious.
This should be delicious for you, but hopefully it's a little different from what you're eating now, because what you're eating now may not be the best for you. So, Dr. Dow, for all the passionate eaters out there, what do you recommend?
If you're a passionate eater, try the Mediterranean diet. Why? It is filled with so much different variety, so many different colors. It is going to give you lots of fish, healthy grains, proteins, beans. So here are for example, 2 different kinds of breakfasts. So breakfast A, you have the traditional eggs with broccoli. Again, it's all about whole foods, natural foods. And then if you don't want that, you can try something new and decadent and delicious, because that's what you like, right? You are really that passionate eater. You are sort of a foodie. Walnuts with blueberries and Greek yogurt. So here, this is salmon infused with garlic, drizzled in olive oil, lemon, broccoli, carrots.
All right, I have to
corn, kale, spinach, right? You got to taste that. It's so delicious. So the trick here with the Mediterranean diet is you are fulfilling that passionate eater indulgence all day long. How's that taste?
It's really good.
You like that, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing about the passionate eater, I imagine for you it's about the experience, right?
It is.
It's about sitting down with your family, friends. So family style is fantastic for the passionate
Yeah.
eater because, again, you're focusing on the indulgence, the experience of food. So here we have, this is a whole wheat pasta. And again, you want to get lots of decadence in there. So we have a little bit of vegetable. We have a little bit of part skim mozzarella cheese. We have a little hanger steak. We have some carrots. We have zucchini. So again, you're fulfilling that sensation seeker in you at every single meal, every time you eat. And then here's the trick. When you want a little dessert, you do have a little dessert, actually, right? You have a little dessert. You don't need a bowl this size of the truffle oil macaroni and cheese because you're getting that need for passion all day long. You look like you want to try that.
I do want to try that.
Okay, go for it.
What she really
I do
wants.
want to try
That's
that,
what
but
you
I'll try
want.
this first.
All right, you stay over here, you keep eating, we're gonna keep moving, but this is the full shopping list for Mediterranean diets on DrOz.com. And I love the fact that you're connecting the passion in different ways, and the family style is a big
Yeah.
issue too,
Yeah.
because you find passion in many ways if you're a passionate personality type.
Yeah,
All right, enjoy
absolutely.
yourself. All right,
Thank
let's
you,
go back
guys.
to the 3 questions. Let me see a show of hands. Who picked out mostly B's? Mostly B's? Some fewer. Come on over here, man. Come on down. I got B over there. What's your name?
Kamika.
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 Let's see what
Hi.
Kamika's got over here. Now, for someone like Kamika, who picked mostly B's, Dr. Dow,
Yeah.
what do you recommend for us?
So, if you are an emotional eater, would you say, first of all, that you are the kind of person, be honest with me, do you cry at comedies and commercials sometimes, romantic comedies? You're sort of the sweet, sensitive type?
Why you put my business on it?
Her business is on the show for sure.
So this is interesting because the emotional eater, and by the way, I really believe that being sensitive is such a strength in life, but here's...
Good cleanup.
But here's where it can get an emotional eater in trouble.
Okay.
When you eat. Because for you, food is about comfort, right? Do you turn to food when you are sad or lonely or stressed? Yes. Oh, yes. And I bet a lot of
you know
people
each
do.
other?
When the guest whispers, there's a truth there. That's what I've learned after this many
Yes.
years.
So here's the plan, Dr. Oz.
Are you seeing yourself in that description, seriously?
I do, because if I start out having like a great day, I wake up
Yeah.
in a great mood, then I'm going to make healthier choices. Like
Yes.
I'll have my egg white omelet, I'll probably have oatmeal.
But if you have a bad day, then what?
Yeah, I'm definitely probably going to go to have the nice donut and
Yep.
yeah. And
So-
for lunch, fried, because it just makes me feel comforted.
Yep.
And I don't think about consequences.
So that's when the emotional eater struggles. The emotional eater, when an emotional eater is having a great day, your diet's perfect. You don't need any intervention. But here's what you can do: you eat 6 small meals a day every day.
That's a lot.
So this is interesting
lot.
because what it does is you are getting in front of your hunger.
Okay.
That is training your brain that food is for physical sustenance, not emotional support. Is that interesting?
It is.
So when you eat 6 small meals a day, you are going to be satisfied. Now, when you're satisfied and you have a bad day at work, or you have a fight with your
Right.
significant other,
Right.
you're actually going to be full. And you're probably going to use emotional tools rather than food to solve that problem. So look at what we have here. Look at how delicious this is.
That looks great.
So this small meal, you can fry up something, and for breakfast, try to get some greens and some vegetables.
kale?
That is kale, mushrooms, an egg here, and then for that midday, you have
Okay.
something like berries. Now, for the emotional eater, if you're busy, like most of us are, this is a great either midday or mid-afternoon snack as one of your 6 meals.
Okay.
So you have nuts with berries, or you have a protein bar. Again, it's all about staying in front of that hunger so that when you have a downfall, you're not going to turn to food and overeat.
So you never want an emotional eater to be hungry, period.
Yeah, correct.
How much of a departure is this for you, Kamika?
It's going to be a bit of a challenge just because I have to train my brain
Yes.
to think like that. And also looking at all these meals, I normally skip a meal sometimes. And so getting ahead of my meal, that's going to be something I'm going to have to be more proactive, like
Yeah.
at night planning my meals out for the day, because
And what would you do? Can I ask you, what would you do instead? If you were full and you had a bad day or you were sad, what would you do instead if you were already full?
if I'm already full, I'm not going to eat. I'm
You
just
know what?
going to go about my day.
Put these in your purse.
Gifts.
Put these in there too. You'll need them. All right.
Can I try?
All right, finally, go out there and answer mostly C's to our food personality question. Mostly C's. Come on over here, man. There's someone over here. Come on over. Join us. I saw you hiding back there. What is your name? Ma'am, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Welcome to the show, Kathy. So for the folks like Kathy, who have our personality type, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
What do you
Hi,
recommend
nice
for
to
these
meet you.
C's out there?
Kathy, you are a habitual eater. So I imagine, by the way, I'm a habitual eater. I imagine that you like the convenience. I imagine that you like the same things all the time. You sort of eat for sustenance, sort of you eat to live. You probably could have something, for most of us, what we see on this table, this is gross, right?
Yeah.
This is boring, turkey sandwich, frozen macaroni and cheese. But for the habitual eater, it's really not about the passion, it's not about emotion, it's just about what do I have to eat. So this is the fix here. So the habitual eater, I want you to focus. By the way, did I get that right? Does that sound like you?
Yes, that
Convenience
sounds exactly like me, yes.
So I want you to focus on something. It's a little trick for the habitual eater. Mm-hmm. Add 3 colors to every single meal and rotate those colors.
Okay.
So the habitual eater will have, I'm gonna have oatmeal every single day. Oatmeal's great, but what I worry about for the habitual eater is you're not eating a variety of foods that are giving you the variety of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that you need. And by just saying, I'm gonna try to get 3 new colors in every single meal every time I eat, you're gonna now have the oatmeal, like you like, but you're gonna have red strawberries and blue blueberries. Then instead of the turkey sandwich by itself, because that's what the habitual eater likes, right? I eat almost the same thing almost every day. You're gonna have some tomatoes and onions. And then, the diet frozen mac and cheese is fine if that's what you love, but you gotta get some vegetables in there. Mm-hmm. So try 3 different colors. So you have the corn, and you have the green peas, and you have the orange carrots.
I know it's not conventional, but go ahead and add some peas to what normally would have been a very convenient food for you to have.
And add some
It
bulk
looks
too,
a lot
right?
prettier.
The key story here is you're probably not going to overeat, but you crazily may not be nourishing yourself the right way.
Yeah.
If you're in this category, which is why folks are often thin, but they're not healthy.
That's right.
Which is why I want to push back on that concept. It's just about the weight.
I'm a nurse and I'm always eating like on the go, so I go for the convenience foods.
Because you're busy.
Yes.
Thank you for being a nurse. The
Thank
real
you.
healers out there, really. But if I have one group of people who don't treat themselves well, it's often nurses. When I see nurses in my hospital, they'll just have that macaroni.
Yeah, because
as bland as it is.
It's easy and quick.
So what is this? This is the last thing. You actually argue that habitual eaters have to drink some of their nutrients.
Yes, and Kathy, this is great for you because you are busy. So because habitual eaters are creatures of habit, it's really easy for them to do something and put it in their daily life. They do it all the time. Mm-hmm. So try this. This is spinach and blueberry and almond milk and peanut butter. Do you like that?
It actually tastes a lot better than it looks.
Yeah, it tastes much better than it looks. I would never buy this, but I actually would love to take it again.
So this is a trick. For any of you at home, I recommend this strategy. I use it in my blender almost every single day. I put a vegetable, a fruit, a milk, and a protein. So you can swap. You can use protein powders, or you can use almond butter. You can use soy milk, almond milk, or organic milk. You can have blueberries. You can have strawberries. You can have kale. And you put that, even to take it to go in a glass ball jar, put it in your bag, take it with you to work, and that habitual nature of yours, you're now using it to set yourself up for health and wellness.
Would this be a meal replacement or a snack?
Either one. I think for you, if you're working a 12-hour shift, or for those of us who are very busy, you have this in the mid-afternoon, you have this at night, or sometimes, if you have a big one, that can actually be a lunch.
I'm in this category also. I have something like this for breakfast. Not this exactly, although I'll try it now. But I get those nutrients in the morning.
Yes.
Because I know during the day, I'll probably eat one color of food the entire day.
Right.
Thanks for what you do, Mike.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
advice.
Yeah,
Listen, you can all answer
Thank
the
you.
3 eating personality questions and find your results immediately, as well as the best plans for you on DrOz.com. Be right back.
Coming up, diagnosed with a terminal illness and 3 months to live, actress Valerie Harper has defied all odds.
We have more power over it than we really realize.
How she's living proof of the healing power of mind over matter. Next. She beat breast cancer, then battled a second life-threatening illness.
And there have been some really challenging times, and I have been in tears.
Robin Roberts on conquering her greatest fear. That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
After being diagnosed with terminal cancer nearly 2 years ago, Valerie Harper continues to defy all odds, maintaining a positive and inspiring outlook on life. In January 2013, Valerie Harper stunned the world with news that she was terminally ill. Doctors telling her she had only 3 months left to live. The actress, best known for playing Rhoda on TV, had been diagnosed with an incurable form of lung cancer that spread to her brain.
I thought, okay, I have it. How bad is it? What's the game plan to fight this? We don't have to choose negative. You can choose positive, and that's what I did with cancer.
Now, nearly 2 years later, Valerie is still going strong, stunning her doctors and defying the odds by tapping into what experts call the mind-body connection. What is it, and how does it work? Valerie Harper knows. Her spirit is truly infectious. I'm glad to welcome Valerie Harper.
God. Thank you. And I'll be careful. No falling down.
I gotta say, it's a dream for me to have you come on. When I heard the news, and by the way, the diagnosis Valerie had would give her 3 months to live. 3 months. Now it's almost 2 years later. I never thought I'd see you again.
I know.
Why do you think it wasn't your time?
I'm not sure. I do not know. And when someone's time is up, I guess it is. I mean, I could walk out of here and get hit by a bus, but hopefully not. But
mobbed by an audience.
Oh, that's so sweet. They're wonderful.
I love the
audience. And I watch you so constantly. They're such a part of the show, Doc. Yes. I love that. I think I have a crack team, an unbelievable doctors, oncologists. Also, I'm doing acupuncture, and I'm taking herbal tea. Then I have a husband who gets me out there exercising. So I'm doing all the good things you should do anyway, and then taking my pills diligently.
Where do you find the strength when someone faces a bad outcome? And we, in all our lives, are going to face these kinds of conversations. Mm-hmm. Where do you go for strength?
Well, the truth is that we're all facing death. It's there. I hate to break it to you, but
that's right.
Yeah, just key is don't go to the funeral till the day of the funeral. Honestly, because
it's so wise.
It really
so
is.
wise.
Yeah, and I just have kept open mind, and I also recently realized with this cancer diagnosis that every moment that you spend in fear. And sometimes you have to be because you're terrified and you're in pain or whatever it is. Every moment that you sit there in fear, letting stress and fear take over, you have forfeited that moment that could be filled with joy.
Yeah, so wise.
I really think it's true. So I've been kind of doing that. I've been trying to.
I was struck by some of the comments you made on visualization, that you see yourself kicking cancer's butt, kicking cancer out of your body, right?
Exactly.
Describe what that's like.
Well, that was the other part. I didn't get to it. I was getting, imagery is very important. And it's a actor's stock and trade. I mean, that's what we do. We make up stuff and pretend we're someone else. So all you have to do is imagine, and I imagine myself as Tinkerbell maybe, in a golden gown. Ooh. And I just say, are you going to stay or are you going to leave? And these little cancer guys are there. And I say, if you don't, I'm ridding you. So Tinkerbell, or Valerie, touches the little guy, and he disappears into white light. That's one of my big images.
You know, when I sit here next to you, I don't see cancer at all. I see life,
oh,
real life.
Oh,
life is just meant to be
great.
lived. I do. Yeah. I would love if you could share some of these insights, the practical elements of them with our audience. And this is true. You could have a very bad cancer of the brain that spread from your lung.
Yes.
Or it could be high blood pressure or something pretty minor. But these mind over matter issues, you're living proof of it, are important.
Oh, it's crucial, I think, because really there are our cells. I know there are people that say it's an invader, but there are cells going haywire. So maybe we have more power over it than we really realize. So
I brought you a little homework.
Oh,
right. Now,
this.
We had Valerie do this exercise for us, but I want you all to do this at home as well. It's straightforward. I want you to take a piece of paper and split it down the middle. And this is from somebody, this is not from Valerie. On one side of it, you're going to think of, in this case, your cancer, right? Your current health battle, whatever it might be, diabetes, headaches, whatever it might be, how you are and what that enemy is doing to you. Draw yourself against the battle. So I look at these images and I see someone who's got some negative things going on, negative mindset. Yeah. They got the cancer's this big, scary monster.
Look at the arms.
Yeah, your arms are big and strong, and you're just unhappy and a victim to it. And can I show you all Valerie's? It's okay. Go ahead and describe this. I think it's pretty good.
Well, he's a little feeble guy, and he's weak. And he's he's sneaking around, and they go on tour, like in show business. They want to do encores, they want to have a return engagement, and then they go on tour to other parts of your body. So I see him as, kind of a sad guy that isn't wanted. And I'm happy. I am a happy person.
So I asked the leading researcher.
And I'm winning.
Yeah, and you're winning.
So far.
I'd love to invite a leading researcher in the field of integrative oncology to join us. Please welcome Dr. Kelly Turner. She's interviewed so many people who have kept a positive attitude in the face of cancer.
Oh, yes.
You've got a lot of experience, maybe more than anyone else in this area. Do these images surprise you, from someone who's fearful and losing the battle potentially to someone who's upbeat and maybe winning the battle?
They don't surprise me at all. I've studied thousands of people who've beaten the odds against cancer, and one of the things that they have in common is taking control of their health. So, for example, many of them are told by their doctors, there's a 99% chance you won't be alive in 3 months. But the people that I study, people like Valerie, respond by saying, I'm going to be that 1%.
Val, you've very kindly started working with the American Lung Association.
Oh,
This is a great program. It's
a joy.
It's a new women's group, and we have to do this. It's called Lung Force. Give advice to all the women out there who don't know much about lung disease, in particular lung cancer.
Oh, you must join us. The truth is there's a huge gap between how most women feel about lung cancer. It's not on the top of their radar as something to be a risk or anything to worry about. Breast cancer maybe, or other kinds of cancer. It is the #1 cancer killer of women. Yeah. And 1% of the survey said they even think about it. So that's really bad statistics. And women don't know how big a threat lung cancer is to them and to men. I think it kills.
Also #1 for men.
Number one for both.
And many of them are non-smokers.
I'm not a smoker. I never smoked a day in my life, and I got the disease. Here's the thing. If you have lungs, you're in line for lung cancer. That's just the way it is. And I don't mean for you to sit in fear and go, it's just get some kind of screening. And as a doctor well knows, if it gets to 4th stage, because it's mushy, right? Yeah. It's not like bone cancer.
It goes on tour, as you mentioned. Listen, I've loved having you.
I love being here.
Having
Thank
goals
you.
also helps folks.
Right.
So I would love you to come back and visit in a year.
Oh,
and every year.
They're so sweet.
Keep that goal. Stay healthy. Be right back.
Coming up next, it can cause tremendous stress and burnout. Has all your time been consumed with caregiving? Learn the steps to take care of yourself while you take care of the ones you love. The Caregiver's Guide to Health. Stay tuned.
What is your truth? Today we're tackling a topic that affects nearly 35 million of you. Caring for a loved one, a parent, child, or sick relative. Caregivers suffer from stress and burnout that puts their health at risk. That's what's happening with Lauren.
All night long, I worry about everything, about everyone, and as soon as the alarm goes off in the morning, I'm leaping out of bed. Oh my goodness, what did I neglect while I was asleep, and who can I help? Natty, hi baby girl. Often I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. Every day is basically the same, long days. I feel a lot of stress.
I have to hurry up and get ready and go to work, and tonight I'm gonna go right to my dad's.
Remember to bring us comforter.
Okay. Okay guys, love you.
I worry about my dad.
Since my mom passed of cancer in 2012, I have been my dad's sole caregiver.
Taking care of my dad feels like a second full-time job. Hi Dad, I'm gonna be getting your food and a hot meal from the store. Let me know if there's anything else that you need. I make sure that he has food that he will eat. I'm gonna be there soon. I'm at Angel's now. My dad is a finicky eater. I have to see if the meat is soft enough to chew, because otherwise he won't be able to handle it, as he says.
So how's he doing?
He's hanging in there. He doesn't leave the house much, and I help him with things. My dad is a prostate cancer survivor. Kind of typical for a gentleman of 88. He has cholesterol issues, he has high blood pressure, gout, He has a trick leg that doesn't always work well and it'll give out on him.
What bowl would you want for your soup? Just this oatmeal bowl right here? I don't want any soup. You don't want any soup?
I make sure he has clean clothes, a clean house, his medicine, and I want to do the best I can to take care of him. My mom dedicated her life taking care of Dad. She was the ultimate caregiver. I have replaced my mom.
Bye, sweetheart.
When I look in the mirror, I think, what are you doing? Why are you not taking care of yourself? And the stress is really getting to me physically. I have neck pain every day. I have pain shooting down my arms. Between my dad and work and children, I've been taking care of people for so long. I have lost myself in the process. I really need help setting boundaries. I don't even know where to start.
So Lauren, you obviously love your father. So if he was really aware at how much you were really sacrificing, back in giving up your whole life, what would he want you to know?
I think he would say, why don't you focus on yourself a little more in your health? I know he's been concerned about my weight over the years, and I haven't really been too upfront about how much I do worry about him specifically.
Come on back. Let's do what your dad would tell us to do. Let's take it to the truth tube. Okay. I actually want to look at some of these health issues that you're challenged. And I'm doing it only to be open about the real price you're paying. So the good news is when I look at your cholesterol, it's pretty good. You're doing fine with the cholesterol. So your body actually is very resilient. It's trying to bounce back. And then I look to see, is there anything that could make you more exhausted than you are now? And I found that your iron levels are low.
Okay.
So that's important for a couple of reasons. You actually have something, sort of like a low, it's like an anemia-like condition, right? So you don't quite have the anemia, but the low iron is going to lead you down that path. So I asked you to do one more exercise for me.
Okay.
And I think the results of your exercise are going to be the same for so many others. I asked you to carry a stopwatch. And every time within a 24-hour period you thought about giving care, or you actually were caregiving, you had to hit the clock and give me a time.
Correct.
So I added those up.
Okay.
You actually had 13 hours, 24 hours. Believe that. 13 of them, more than half, were you taking care of your dad or somebody else in the family. That's more than half your day. And that's not counting the fact that you got to work for 8 hours to take care, which is indirectly taking care of your family. You got to sleep ideally, which you can't be sleeping enough with that kind of a calendar. What is it that makes it so difficult for you to make time for you?
I feel like at the end of the day, as I said, I feel programmed that I need to do all these things for others, and then I can relax enough to find time for myself or do things. I am attempting to do a low-carb lifestyle most of the time. I'm attempting to exercise. I lack follow-through. I'm doing what feels normal and routine, but then I keep thinking, well, tomorrow I'll change, or the next day, or next Monday.
I deeply appreciate, since I do this too in my family, the difficulty of being a caregiver in America. But I also know that there are ways for us to give care to people in a way that allows us to take care of ourselves, which in its own way is making our loved ones feel better about what they're doing. Your dad would never want this for you. And he'd be thrilled if we can do what we're going to do today, which is let you love him and express that love and care for him without sacrificing yourself.
Okay.
It's going to require some decisions.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, I'm going to squeeze you a little bit, but we can do this together with everybody else who's watching. We can make this program happen. When we come back, the Caregiver's Guide to Health. Stay with us.
Next, do you have an endless to-do list taking care of someone else's life? Do you feel suffocated by responsibility? Overcome the burden of being a caregiver and putting yourself last. The plan for everyone to manage your time and balance your life is next. She beat breast cancer, then battled a second life-threatening illness.
And there have been some really challenging times, and I have been in tears.
Robin Roberts on conquering her greatest fear. That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
A caregiver has a never-ending to-do list and often feels suffocated with responsibility. The author of the best-selling book, Stop Saying You're Fine, and CNN contributor Mel Robbins is here with the Caregiver's Guide to Health. It's a plan that everyone can use. So Mel, why do you think we reached a crisis in this country with caregivers putting themselves out, overcome with the burden and guilt of taking care of others?
You know, it's a great question. You said there are 35 million of us, and the three of us are part of the sandwich generation. It means you're over 40, you either have kids at home or kids you're still paying for, and you have parents that you're terrified are getting older. And, you know, interestingly, you're not alone, because the average person that's caring for somebody in this country, first of all, it's we women. And secondly, you're typically in your late 40s like us, you have kids that you're still caring for, and here's the scary part. Half of us are doing it 100% on our own.
True.
So we've got a caregiver guide that I think will be helpful for everybody. The first step is to organize your caregiving tasks like you do your children's schedule. Well, why is this so important, Mel?
Well, one of the things that I want you to do, and this goes for every one of you at home that is caring for somebody, whether it's a child that's sick or a friend that has cancer, or you, like Ren, have an aging parent and you're terrified, is you have to get out of your head and you have to get this all down on paper.
So you have actually a checklist.
I brought my favorite thing. I did.
I look at this list, and you actually, independent of what tasks they are, you put 3 possible categories you can slip them into. You can say never, sometimes, and always.
Right.
Well, never is hard for Rin and others.
It's impossible for Rin.
So how do you put something in the never category? I'm never going to do what? Make dinner for Dad, or make a gourmet dinner for Dad?
She's got to pick something. What's one thing, like right here, that you could say that you're never going to do? I mean, of course, in an emergency, but something that you are going to put your foot down and you're not going to do it.
I would say, I don't know, get the leaves out of the gutters for him.
Okay, so
He worries about that profusely.
Okay, that's a good one. And why you need to do that, and why you at home need to do this for yourself, is because unless you can draw a line, you will never be able to draw a breath and be able to take a moment for yourself.
Mm-hmm. How do you deal with the guilt that people are going to sense when they don't clear the leaves from the gutter?
Well, first let me talk about guilt, then let me talk about the gutters, okay? So guilt is a disguise for love.
Okay.
So whenever you feel guilt rise up, it's nothing more than a signal that's being driven by the fact that you love your dad.
Okay.
You love him a lot.
A lot. He's just everything. He's just so wonderful. I really do. I can't wait to see him.
And here's the deal. Like, when you think about the gutters, it's actually driven by how much you love him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's driven by fear that you have very dwindling time.
Exactly, well said. Mm-hmm.
And so when you feel guilt, just pick up the phone and check in. That takes 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Driving over to check on the gutters takes 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Now, the gutters, I think you're married, right?
Yes, I am.
I think your husband might be able to get on a ladder
He
and
should
deal
be
with the
able-
gutters. Yes, which gets us to our next thing.
So if there are people in your life that can help you. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest problems that caregivers have is they don't know how to ask for help for people who actually want to give help. So how do we do that?
Well, for you, it's going to be really hard. For we women, it's next to impossible, because there's a little secret about we women that you may or may not know, Dr. Oz.
Please tell.
We are control freaks.
Yes, no, that I know.
Yes. Yes.
Guilty.
And the reason why we do all the stuff that we do and we take care of everybody is, number one, that way we ensure that we are loved.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And number two, we like it done our way. I mean, how many people have reloaded the dishwasher because you didn't like how somebody else did it? Yes. Yes.
The men are pointing to the women in the audience.
Yes, and guess what? We just trained them not to load it because
Right.
we don't like how you do it.
My mother would
Here
always.
she goes.
Yeah, my mother would say to my dad, "Oh, don't you wash the dishes? You won't do it right, Hank." So she'd go behind him,
Poor
and,
Hank.
wash them. So he's like, "I can't do anything right. I give up."
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I think a lot of this is actually more of a tribute to your mom.
It is.
But how do you get people to help? How do you get Rin's husband to play a role, or a friend who can actually do something?
Well, first things first, it's not until you get down on a piece of paper everything that has to happen, and you sit down with your dad, and you sit down with your husband, and you say, what are we going to do here?
What about in terms of in the future as well? Because I have this word, scary narrative. I think what scary narrative could happen in the future? Like if and then, or, cause and effect, what do I need to plan? That's another thing that keeps me awake. I worry about, what am I going to do if this happens or that happens? The contingency plan.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
What we do know is there are people in your life who want to be part of your life and help you make this happen. And if you train them to treat you the way they need to treat you, which is to help you take care of your father, they'll be there when those crazy things happen.
Okay.
Let me give you one last tip, because I did notice you were running through all those errands as we filmed you. And this is an important visual. I want you to shift the focus from quantity to quality. If you're out there mowing the lawn, cleaning the gutter, you're not spending time with your dad.
True.
And that's actually the big sacrifice that's being made here. Your ability to sit down across from him and tell a man who loves you dearly that you love him. And that moment is precious to you. You will never get that back. You'll have plenty of time to clean his gutter. But you need to spend that key time. Now, I showed you that little graph earlier of the 24-hour day, and you're spending more than half of it, 13 hours of it, caretaking. We did a little calculation. If you follow Mel's advice, and you're not giving up your care of him, but doing it the right way, the way we think you can, you're going to gain back about 6 hours for yourself.
Oh, my goodness.
What would you do? What would you do with 6 hours for yourself?
I would plan low-carb meals for the week. I would exercise. I am participating in a marathon, I think, in Labor Day next year with my graduating class.
You know what? Sign up for it, because if you're busy,
Labor Day.
You'll get it done. You'll pack it in because you won't have a choice.
Exactly.
You can make this happen.
Yes.
People will be there for you.
In fact, I'll be there for you. I will talk to you after this. I will help you fill out that chart. I will follow up with you. And this is another thing. Nobody's alone in this. And everybody's capable of breaking this down. And if you break it down, your friends and your family can step in and help. And we're here to help you.
Oh, thank you, Mel and Dr.
Great,
Oz.
thank you for being here. You can find the Caregiver's Plan for Health on DrOz.com. It's on our Truth To page. I'll be right back.
Next, accused of fat shaming, this in-shape working mom turned a negative call to action into an everyday positive, celebrating real bodies of real women who work hard at their health. The surprise that makes her day is next.
We are bringing healthy back this season and want you to bring it too. Grab your prescription pad for fun and sign up for free tickets today. You can go to DrOz.com/tickets and sign up. Remember this picture? When working mom Maria Kang posted this on her Facebook page, it went viral and it made a lot of folks very angry. But now she's back and she's rethinking her message, releasing brand new photos celebrating real women's bodies with a calendar. And she's hoping it will not only redeem herself, but maybe inspire women everywhere to do the same. Maria Kang is here, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit about this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So when you first posted that photo, again, you put it on your Facebook page, and there's a picture of you recovering from having beautiful babies, but you were accused of fat shaming.
Yeah.
What was that like? What were your intentions?
My intention was not to fat shame. It was to show women, or just men, that there's no excuses why you can't make health a priority. My kids were 3, 2, and 8 months at the time. And while I do feel sorry that people took it negatively, I absolutely stand behind my message that health should be a priority.
Well, you took that concern, all that energy, and you actually flipped it and made it positive.
Yes.
So what have you been doing? Why was that important for you to re-engage this?
You know, there was some negative, but the overwhelming response has been positive. So I wanted to take my voice that has gone viral, my public platform, and mobilize thousands of women. So now we have a No Excuse Mom movement. We have thousands of women in 300 locations in 25 countries because of that message.
So to celebrate this, she wanted to post a revised image. This is another what's your excuse picture before we get to the calendar. So what does this tell folks to do? Because this is actually, again, you've got a lot of different things you're pointing out about yourself. Not what I expected, frankly.
You know, I don't think I said enough information in that original picture. So this picture is showing that, yes, I do work 8-hour days. I have limited sleep. I'm not a trainer, celebrity, or a fitness model, and I don't have a nanny or chef, and I have stretch marks. And I'm strong, I'm not skinny. So I wanted to show that, you know what, I have all these excuses, but I'm making health a priority.
Yeah, there are stretch marks. That's actually,
there are.
It's pretty cool you're showing that. So you've got thousands of moms all across the country talking about this in a very different way. There's No Excuse Moms movement that you're fomenting. You made a calendar.
Yes.
And I want to show a picture of this. Is celebrating real women with real bodies. Isn't that pretty cool, guys? You know what? I got a little surprise for you. I actually asked these calendar cover moms to come join us today. They wanted to thank you in person.
Oh my God.
Come on out. I'm not sure.
I've never met them before.
Yeah, I know you hadn't met them before, but this is how passionate they are about you. First of all, I want to thank you all for being brave enough to come out here in bathing suits. These are real moms. Now, I know you want to say things to Brielle. Who wants to go first? Go ahead. What do you have to say?
I just have to say a big thank you for putting yourself out there, but not just putting yourself out there, but giving us the tools to make the changes. I started out at a size 16, and I am now down to a size 10.
All right, I want everyone, give us the pose. I'm going to help you guys out. Give us the pose like that. What do you guys think? You like this? I'm very proud of all you. We'll be right back. Where's that pose?
She beat breast cancer, then battled a second life-threatening illness.
And there have been some really challenging times, and I have been in tears.
Robin Roberts on conquering her greatest fear. That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
Your Thanksgiving feast has been turkey and stuffing year after year, but this peculiar food trend might give you something new to chew on. Are you all ready? You're gonna love this. Crickets. That's right, insects are the new protein powerhouses, and they're available in their original six-legged form. They got 22% more protein than beef, and I think it has a very subtle, nutty flavor. So, who wants to taste some? You sure? Who wants some nutty? You sure? No takers? I see somebody. Oh, we have a couple people here. They had no idea this was going to happen to them.
No.
You sure?
No, yeah.
Oh, it jumped on you. Oh, no. How about you want some?
Okay.
Go on, give it a taste. Let me see what it thinks like. What does
But
it
you
feel
have to
like?
do it with me.
Oh, she's very smart. All right, I'll have one too. Ready?
Okay.
They're crunchy.
They
What do you
are.
think? They're good? They had a few. You sure? One more chance. Hey, come over here. I want to show you this. So listen, you don't have to eat them in their original six-legged form. You can get them in many other forms as well. These protein bars, actually, these are very ecologically friendly. Give that a little bite. And tell me you don't like that.
It's not bad.
Not bad. It's not bad for someone who's actually tasted it for the first time. And not bad. Thank you very much. All right, now in case you missed it. First, we talked about the 3 meal plans for your eating personality type. Customize the food to your personality. If you're a passionate eater, follow the Mediterranean diet. And oftentimes you ought to serve it in a social setting because passionate people like to be social. Serve a family style like this. And again, it's classic Mediterranean foods. The emotional eater will benefit from 6 meals a day. It's the best fit, so you stay ahead of your hunger. You don't turn to food for emotional support. So, get some of these protein bars, for example, maybe the cricket bars that I showed you, or just a bag with some nuts and dried fruit, and put it in your bag so it's always there for you, so you're not falling prey to eating the wrong things when you get upset about life. If you're a habitual eater, then focus on getting 3 colors on your plate at every meal. That adds the diversity and nutrients that you need to have in your life. Otherwise, you eat the same food, bland as it is, every single time. Take the quiz, the personality quiz on DrOz.com to find out your eating personality type, and then use my recipes to figure out how to best deal with that. Finally, I want to close with a warning. Please be careful about what you're buying online, especially weight loss pills. Dubious people online make it seem like I'm endorsing their products, but I don't. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, go to DrOz.com. I'll see you next time.